My name is Maya Singh, and for the longest time I believed monsters lived in stories. Not in streets, not in apartments, not behind locked doors. But that belief died the night I found the first envelope. It was a rainy Thursday. Not the kind of heavy rain that scares you. The soft kind, the harmless kind, the kind that makes you lower your guard. I had just finished the late shift at Mocha Brew Cafe, the little place 2 blocks from my tiny rented apartment. My shoes were soaked, my hair smelled like espresso, and my head was pounding. College fees, rent, phone bill, everything was overdue. I had 174 rupees in my account, not even enough for groceries. I reached the second floor landing of my building, and something felt off. The corridor light was flickering, the buzzing sound echoing through the empty hallway. When I walked toward my door, I saw it, a black envelope, perfectly placed in the center of my dusty doormat. Not blown by wind, not fallen randomly, placed, waiting for me. For a whole minute, I didn't move. The building around me was dead quiet. No doors opening, no footsteps, just the flicker, flicker, flicker of the light above. I crouched and picked it up. The envelope was thick, unnaturally thick, and cold, like it had been kept in a freezer. My fingers trembled when I opened it. Inside, bundles of cash, 50,000 rupees, crisp, untouched notes that smelled like a bank vault, and a small, neatly folded note. "Let me help you, Maya. No need to pay back. Your sugar daddy." My heart dropped. My name, written in perfect handwriting, in silver ink. I spun around instantly, scanning the hallway, but there was no one. Only empty silence. I rushed inside, locked the door, and leaned against it, breathing fast. Who would do this? Who even knew about my money problems? I checked the clock. 12:47 a.m. My phone buzzed. An unknown message. No name. Just a profile picture of a blank gray circle. "Did you get your gift?" I read it twice, 3 times. My stomach knotted tighter with every second. I typed back with shaking fingers. "Who is this?" A reply came instantly. "Someone who wants to keep you safe, Maya." I dropped the phone. Not help you, not support you, keep you safe. As if danger was already near. As if this stranger knew something I didn't. I didn't sleep that night, not even for a second. Around 3:10 a.m., just when the building felt the most silent, I heard footsteps, slow, measured, carefully placed, right outside my door. They stopped exactly where the envelope had been. I froze on my bed, clutching my blanket like a shield, too afraid to breathe. Then, one soft knock, not loud, not aggressive, just a gentle, patient tap, as if someone was smiling on the other side. A whisper followed. I swear I heard it. "Maya." Not angry, not raspy, not a voice I recognized. Just calm, male, close, too close. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying it was a dream. By morning, the footsteps were gone, but the fear stayed. Heavy, unmistakable, like something had entered my life that wouldn't leave. Something that had money, something that knew my name, something that knew where I lived, something that wanted me. And that was only the first gift. I didn't go to college the next morning. My eyes burned from lack of sleep, and every sound, the elevator, footsteps in the hallway, even the hum of the ceiling fan, made my heart jump. But by evening, I convinced myself I was overreacting. Maybe the money was a mistake. Maybe someone left it at the wrong door. Maybe the message wasn't even for me. But deep down, I knew none of that was true. Still, when I returned home the next night after my cafe shift, I was not expecting what was waiting for me. The hallway light wasn't flickering anymore. It was dead. The entire corridor was dark, except for the faint glow of my phone as I unlocked the door. And there, in the darkness, I saw it again. Another envelope, black, perfectly centered, untouched. But this one was bigger, thicker, heavier. My throat dried as I bent down. The paper felt smooth and icy. I could feel the weight inside. Bundles of something, more money, something heavier than before. I entered my room fast, locked the door, and turned every light on. My hands shook as I opened the envelope. Inside were 3 bundles of cash, more than last time, and a note, not handwritten this time, typed, neat, perfect, cold. 3 rules. Break anyone, and you're mine forever. Don't look for me. Don't refuse my gifts. Never go out after midnight. My hands went numb. This wasn't kindness. This wasn't help. This was control, disguised as generosity. The letters were clean and crisp, like the rules were carved into stone. I stared at them for a long time. Why rules? Why these rules? Who even writes rules for a stranger? Part of me wanted to tear the note apart. Another part, the scared part, said, follow them. Maybe it'll keep you alive. Before I could think further, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Same blank profile picture. Good. You're home. I froze. No. He couldn't know that. He couldn't know the exact moment I walked in. But then another message came. Don't be scared. I just want to protect you. I felt a wave of cold run down my spine. I typed with trembling hands. Who are you? Why are you sending me money? 3 dots appeared immediately, typing, as if he'd been waiting. Then, because you deserve better. Better. The same word he used last night. I stared at the rules again. 1, don't look for me. 2, don't refuse my gifts. 3, never go out after midnight. I swallowed hard. Never go out after midnight. Why? What would happen? I felt watched, studied, like a lab rat. And then, the knocking started, not on the door, on the window. The second floor window. Slow, soft, rhythmic. Tap, tap, tap. I turned slowly. My skin crawled. My breath got stuck in my throat. The curtains swayed slightly from the breeze. But the taps weren't from the wind. They were deliberate, close. I stepped forward and held the curtain's edge. My heart slammed against my ribs. I pulled the curtain back. Nothing. Empty alley, damp streetlight, a silent night. And then, a message pinged. Don't open the window. It's not safe outside. I jumped back from the glass. He knew. He was watching. Not from far away, not from some building across the street. He was close enough to see my hand reach for the curtain. I typed, "Where are you?" The reply came in less than a second. Close. I locked the window, the door, every latch, every bolt. Then sat on the floor, hugging my knees, listening for any sound outside. For hours. Nothing happened until 3:05 a.m. My room suddenly felt colder, like a freezer door had opened. My phone buzzed again. You broke Rule 2. My stomach dropped. Rule 2. Don't refuse my gifts. I looked at the open envelope lying on the table. I hadn't touched the money. I hadn't taken it inside. I hadn't accepted it. I texted fast. I didn't refuse. I didn't do anything. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, a message. Take the money, Maya. I didn't move. Take it, or I'll come inside. My blood froze. I stared at the door. The old wooden frame suddenly seemed too thin, too weak. Then, a soft creaking sound from the hallway. Footsteps, slow, heavy, coming toward my door. 1 step, pause, another step, pause. The floorboards groaned with each movement. I felt faint, like my soul was shrinking inside me. Then a whisper, so soft I almost thought it was inside my head. Maya, right outside my door. I scrambled to the table, grabbed the envelope with shaking hands and held it tight. The footsteps stopped. Silence. For a full minute, everything was still. Then my phone vibrated. One final message. Good girl. And just like that, the presence outside my door faded. No footsteps going back. No sound. Nothing. Like it had never been there. But I knew. I knew someone was standing on the other side. Someone who didn't need to force the door open. Someone who thought he owned me now. Someone who didn't just watch me. He was getting closer, braver, more personal. And the worst part, this was only day 2. For the next 2 days, nothing happened. No footsteps, no knocking, no envelopes, no messages. The silence felt wrong, like someone holding their breath before attacking. I tried to convince myself this stranger, this sugar daddy, had gotten bored, or maybe moved on to someone else. But deep down, a cold truth sat inside me like a stone. He was not done. On the 3rd night after the incident, I returned home from the cafe at 11:20 p.m., tired, drained, pretending to be brave. As I reached the landing, I noticed something strange. My door was slightly open, just a crack, not wide enough to see inside, just enough to make my stomach twist painfully. I froze. I lived alone. No one had a spare key. I whispered, "No, no, no," and slowly pushed the door open. The apartment was dark, silent. I flicked the light on, heart pounding. Everything looked normal. Nothing broken, nothing missing. But that made it worse. Because if someone had come inside, they hadn't come to steal. They had come to look, to study, to understand how I lived, and where I slept, and what scared me. The air felt wrong, as if someone had been standing exactly where I stood now, minutes earlier. I checked my bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, all clear. I tried to breathe. Maybe I'd forgotten to lock the door. Maybe I was so stressed I imagined things. Then I saw it, on my bed, on the pillow where I laid my head every night. A single black envelope, placed perfectly at the center, like a gift, a warning, an announcement. My throat tightened as I picked it up. Inside, money again. More than before. Stacks and stacks, crisp as new leaves. But the note inside was different. It wasn't typed this time. It was handwritten again. But not neat like the first time. This handwriting looked rushed, frantic, unstable. The letters were sharp, almost carved into the paper. "You forgot to close your window last night. Anyone could have come in. I don't like that. Let me protect you properly." My entire body went cold. Window? I sleep with the curtains drawn. I never checked the window before bed. I didn't remember leaving it open. I looked at the window now. Locked. But the curtain? The curtain had been moved slightly. Just a little. But not the way I leave it. And suddenly, something hit me. If he had been inside, he had stood next to my bed, watching me sleep, close enough to touch my face, close enough to place an envelope under my pillow. My legs trembled so badly I had to sit down. That's when my phone buzzed. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to know. But I forced myself to read the message. Unknown number. Same gray profile picture. Check your gallery. My heart dropped into my stomach. "No," I whispered, shaking my head. My fingers felt numb as I opened the gallery. The newest photo was taken 2 hours earlier. A photo of me, sleeping. The blanket pulled over my shoulder, my hair spread on the pillow, my face peaceful, unaware. The angle of the photo was from inside the room, close to my bedside, as if someone stood over me, leaning down, watching me breathe. I dropped the phone, tears rushing down my face. A message appeared instantly. "You look beautiful when you sleep." I covered my mouth with both hands to stop the scream building in my throat. He had been inside my room, standing inches from me, watching. Another message buzzed. "Don't be scared, Maya. I kept you safe." Safe. That word again. Twisted, wrong, suffocating. I backed away from the bed, from the window, from everything in this room that suddenly felt like a trap. Another buzz. This one, slower, as if he was taking his time typing. "You should move somewhere safer. I've already picked the place. I'll show you soon." I stared at the message in horror. He didn't just want to watch me. He wanted to own me, control where I lived, when I slept, what I touched, what I feared. And the worst part, I felt another envelope before I even saw it, under the bed, slightly sticking out, as if placed there for later. I crawled forward with trembling hands and pulled it out. Inside was just one sentence. "I'm always closer than you think." The room seemed to shrink around me. He wasn't outside anymore. He wasn't in the hallway. He was everywhere, watching, waiting, planning. And the night was far from over. The police didn't believe a word Maya said. The bruises on her arms, the panic in her voice, the way her hands kept trembling, that was all stress, they claimed. A bad breakup. Maybe she was overreacting. But Maya knew the truth. Mr. Black wasn't a normal man. He wasn't even a man at all. And she could feel him watching, even from the shadows behind the police station windows. That night, Maya didn't go home. She couldn't. She booked a cheap hotel room on the outskirts of town, one with flickering yellow lights and a front desk clerk who didn't ask questions. That kind of place. She double-locked the door, closed the curtains, kept the lights on, and pulled the covers to her chin like a terrified child. Finally, she allowed herself to breathe. But at 3:11 a.m., just 4 minutes before the time he always texted, her phone buzzed. Not a call, not a message, a notification. "Your delivery has arrived." Maya's heart froze. Delivery? She hadn't ordered anything. She opened the door a crack, and a small black velvet box sat on the floor. She didn't touch it, didn't move, just stared. But the box, it twitched, just slightly, like something was moving inside. She kicked it into the hallway and slammed the door shut, breathing hard, tears filling her eyes. She knew what this meant. Mr. Black had found her. Again. The call. 20 minutes later, her phone rang. Blocked number. Her stomach twisted. She answered. "Maya," a deep voice whispered. Smooth, calm, too calm. "You forgot your gift." She slammed the phone down. Seconds later, another notification. "If you leave again, I'll leave you a gift you can't refuse." A new address. The next morning, Maya rushed to her best friend Ria's apartment. Ria had been keeping her distance ever since Maya started acting paranoid, but today she finally listened. Ria hugged her and said, "You're staying here tonight, period." For the first time in days, Maya felt a little safer. They went out to buy food, trying awkwardly to laugh, trying to pretend everything was fine. But when they returned, a white envelope sat taped to Ria's door. On the front, in clean handwritten letters, "For Maya," Ria swallowed. Did you tell him my address?" Maya shook her head violently. "No, I never, Ria, I swear, I didn't." Ria opened the door slowly, carefully. Inside, everything looked normal. except for the gift box sitting on the center of the dining table. Black velvet, just like the one from the hotel. And beside it, a handwritten note. Maya read it aloud. A good sugar daddy always takes care of what's his. Stop running. Come home. Black. Rhea stared at her. Come. Home? What home? Maya whispered, voice shaking. That's the part I never told you. He has a house. A house he kept saying he would take me to. The one where all the other girls went. Rhea froze. What girls? Maya shook her head. I don't know. He never said names. He only said, her voice cracked. He only said they were well taken care of. Rhea's face went pale. Rhea grabbed the box off the table. Maya, we're opening this. We need to know what he wants. Maya tried to stop her. Don't. Please, don't touch. But Rhea had already flipped the lid. Inside was something small, shiny, cold, a silver key, and attached to it was a tiny tag. For your room, Rhea blinked. Your room? What room? Maya stepped back, shaking her head in terror. No, no, this isn't real. I've never been there. I've never... The phone buzzed again. One message, an address, a location she had never seen, never visited, never even heard of, followed by, your room is ready. The house of gifts. Rhea insisted they take the key to the police, but the police refused again. Anonymous gifts are not a crime, the officer said. Rhea exploded. He is stalking her. But they didn't care. Maya felt her world shrinking. No one believed her. No one could help her. No one understood what Mr. Black truly was. That night, as they sat in stunned silence in Rhea's living room, Maya remembered something she had tried to forget. Mr. Black never asked how her day was, never asked what she liked. He never talked like a normal human. He only asked one question, every single day. Are you ready for your new life yet? Her hands shook. Rhea touched her shoulder. Maya, what if we go to that address, just to see what's there? Just so we know what we're dealing with? No, Maya whispered. I'm not going anywhere near that place. Rhea took a deep breath. Then I'll go, alone. Maya grabbed her wrist instantly. No, Rhea, please, don't even think. But it was too late. Rhea walked to the door, opened it, and froze. Because sitting outside the door, waiting patiently, was a man, a tall figure in a black suit, silent, still, and in his hand. He held another black gift box. Rhea slammed the door shut so fast the wall shook. Footsteps began walking toward the door, slow, heavy, deliberate, each one echoing like thunder. Maya felt her soul leave her body. Rhea whispered, trembling, Maya, is that him? Maya didn't speak. She couldn't, because from the other side of the door, a deep voice whispered, Maya, you forgot your gift. The doorknob began to turn. The doorknob twisted once, then again. The metal creaked as if something was pushing it from the other side. Patiently, deliberately. Rhea pressed her back against the door, whispering, Call the police. But Maya whispered back, her voice cracking, They won't come, not for him. Because deep inside, Maya finally understood. Mr. Black wasn't scared of police. He wasn't scared of laws. He wasn't scared of anything human. The room fell silent. No footsteps, no whisper, no movement, just silence. Rhea slowly stepped away from the door. Maya held her breath. Then, bang, a single knock, so loud it rattled the walls. Then a voice, Open the door, Maya. I brought your last gift. Maya broke down. Why me? What do you want? A low, calm whisper came through the crack. I want what's already mine. Rhea grabbed Maya's hand. We're not staying here. Come, now. They ran. Through the hallway, down the stairs, Ria's car was parked outside. They sprinted toward it, but something was wrong. The driver's door was open, just slightly. Ria froze. Maya, I locked the car. A cold wave crawled down Maya's spine. Don't go near. But Ria had already stepped forward. Something clinked on the ground beneath the car. A small black gift box rolled out and stopped exactly at Maya's feet. Her breathing hitched. This one wasn't like the others. It was larger, heavier, wrapped with a blood-red ribbon. Ria whispered, "Don't open it." But Maya already knew. He expected her to. Her fingers trembled as she untied the ribbon, lifted the lid, and screamed. Inside was a photograph of Maya, sleeping, in the hotel room, in Ria's house, even in her own bed, months before she ever met him online. Every picture had the same timestamp in the corner, 3:11 a.m. Ria stepped backward, horrified. He was inside your house, Maya, before you ever spoke to him. Maya felt the world tilt, and then she saw the last photo, not of her, of Ria, taken from inside her apartment, last night. The address. A vibration broke the silence. Maya's phone lit up with a message. Your room is waiting. Come to the address. The same black and white address he had sent earlier. This was no longer a threat. It was a command. Ria shook her head violently. No, Maya, you're not going there. Maya whispered. He won't stop. Not ever. Not until he gets what he wants. What does he even want? Maya finally said the words she'd been afraid to speak. He wants me to live with him. Forever. Ria grabbed her shoulders. You're not going. You're not. But Maya stared straight ahead. I need to end this. The House of Shadows. The address led down an empty highway, into a forest, then to a deserted private road with no lights and no signs. Every tree looked like a spine. Every shadow twitched. At the end of the path, there it was, a massive, decaying mansion with black windows and a red door waiting like an open mouth. The kind of house you see in nightmares. Ria whispered, Please, let's go back. But Maya stepped forward with the silver key in her hand. The door unlocked with a click. Inside was nothing but darkness, cold, silent, still. Then a faint hum. Lights flickered on. One room was fully furnished, perfectly arranged. A bed, a desk, a vanity, clothes neatly folded, photos framed on the wall, photos of Maya. Every era of her life, childhood, college, her first job, even ones she didn't remember being taken. A room prepared for her long before she ever met him. A voice echoed from the shadows. Welcome home, Maya. The truth about Mr. Black. Mr. Black stepped into the light. Tall, sharp suit, expressionless face. Not handsome, not ugly, just wrong. A mannequin wearing a human skin. Maya whispered, What are you? He tilted his head like he was studying her. I give gifts. I choose carefully. And once I choose, he stepped closer. They stay. Ria hid behind Maya, trembling. What is this place? Who are the other girls? Mr. Black blinked slowly. They lived here, before Maya. Where are they now? Ria demanded. He smiled a thin, cold smile. They're still here. The walls. A low rumbling began, then a faint scratching. Maya turned around. The walls were moving, not physically, but something inside them was shifting, scraping, scratching, whispering. Soft voices filled the room. Maya! Don't stay! Run! Run! Ria screamed. What the hell is this? Mr. Black's calm voice cut through the chaos. They didn't want their gifts. They tried to leave. They were ungrateful. His eyes locked onto Maya. But you. I watched you for a long time. Why? She cried. His voice softened. Because you were lonely, and lonely people make the best companions. He stepped forward and reached toward her face. And at that moment, Rhea grabbed Maya's wrist and ran. The chase. They sprinted down the hallway as lights exploded overhead and doors slammed shut one by one. The house groaned like a living creature trying to swallow them whole. Behind them, footsteps followed. Slow, heavy, steady. He wasn't running. He didn't have to. The house was helping him. Doors locked. Walls shifted. Stairs creaked under invisible weight. The girls reached the back door, but the key Maya had didn't fit. Rhea screamed, "He gave you a key for a reason. It's for your room, not an exit." Maya pulled Rhea close. "We jump." "What? From the second floor?" "He'll kill us if we don't." They climbed onto the window ledge as footsteps grew louder behind them. Mr. Black was almost there. He whispered, "Maya, come home." Maya squeezed Rhea's hand, and they jumped. The final moments. Maya hit the ground hard. Her leg twisted. Rhea landed beside her with a cry of pain. But they were alive. They limped away, forcing their bodies to move, not looking back. But the house began glowing from inside. Bright white light pulsed through every window. Then all the lights went out. Absolute darkness. Not a single sound. Just wind. Just emptiness. Maya and Rhea collapsed on the roadside, sobbing. They had escaped, or so they thought. The ending, the twist. 3 days later, Maya went back to Raya's apartment to pack her things. She was leaving town. Forever. She opened her suitcase, still shaking from the trauma. But inside, something was already there. She froze. It was a black velvet gift box with a red ribbon. Her phone buzzed. One message. "You left home without your gift." Then another. A photo of her, standing in Rhea's apartment, taken just seconds ago. Maya dropped her phone and stumbled backward, heart pounding, eyes scanning every corner of the room. Behind the curtains, under the bed, in the closet, in the walls. Then she heard it, a whisper, right behind her ear. "Did you miss me?" The end.